Who's asleep amidst the trees? Bats all are swaying in the breeze. But one so light, anxious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and wraiths. For your dolly, Polly, sleep has flown. Don't dare let her tremble alone. For the wheelchair, heartless cold, paid in coin of gold. He comes, he'll go, leave naught behind but heartache and woe. Deep, deep woe. It's all silent for the night. House turned in as daylight dies. But when so light, conscious, wide awake, fearing all manner of ghouls, hags, and wraiths, my dear Dolly.
Hi everyone and welcome to the Haunted Connection show. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all managing with the tier system that we're in wherever you are. So we're bringing this to you from the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre in Hinckley, Leicester, and we are sponsored by Sims Vintage Antiques in Norton Warren near Stratford. So a big welcome to everyone. Tonight we've got the lovely Danny Moss joining us. So big welcome, Danny, and we're going to be talking about all things past, present, future, what he's got in the pipeline. So it's all good stuff. So big welcome, Danny. Hope you're okay. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, guys. Thanks for having me back on. It's been a crazy year, hasn't it? And almost at the end of it now.
So how are you coping through this year, Danny? Has it really affected you?
Yes and no, really. I've been quite lucky. It's, there's two sides to the Haunted Hunter, which is obviously my company. Mm-hmm. The event side has obviously been deeply affected. We managed to get a few in between lockdowns, and that's simply because we were at Tatton Old Hall, which was considered a secure environment. We had to cling film all the banisters. It was a nightmare, but we managed to get through. And then obviously we had to cancel it all again, which was crazy. In terms of filming, we were very, very lucky to be able to get out in July, just as the country kind of went out of lockdown, and we headed up to obviously Lancashire, Pendle Hill, to get the sort of the week-long investigation filmed up there. And we were lucky really because about a week or two later it went back into lockdown. So yeah, it's been one of them, but I think it's affected everyone, hasn't it?
Yeah, so the timing was perfect for you then, July.
Yeah, really. We've been planning season 3 since very, very early February, because obviously our season 2 came out in March, which we filmed last year, and we were aware of the COVID situation then. So by April, we were thinking, geez, when are we going to get to shoot this? Because, us as investigators, we've got to go off and it's a week-long production, but then it's all the shots beforehand where the crew go up and afterwards as well. And we kind of just penciled in July and said, right, let's do it in July. And it worked out for the best, luckily.
Lots of people are saying hello. So hello to everyone for watching. David's got a comment. I think that, do you know David Hill?
I'm not sure.
No, David says, have you ever encountered any haunted couches?
I've not, no. I've not, Dave.
No. We've got haunted rocking chairs at the centre, not couches. as far as I can remember. But no other comments yet. So what have you got lined up? You've made 2 big announcements this week, haven't you?
Yeah, gee, I mean, the last 8 days have been absolutely crazy, but I feel on top of the world at the minute, and really blessed and lucky to be getting the opportunities that I'm getting at the moment. So it's a huge thank you to not only all the production teams on both sides, but also everybody who has been supporting myself this year, and also the Haunted Hunts and everybody else as well. You know, UK Paranormal, I have a feeling, is really about to lift off. So yeah, the first announcement, really been waiting to announce this one. I've been dying for it, but it's Paranormal Captured, which, you know, was a really, it went down really, really well last year. I feel it's, you know, one of them really well-made UK shows that everyone can get on board with. It's got its sort of skeptical side to it, and then it's got something for the believers as well, and also something for the guys 50-50. So we've got a winter special coming out on the 22nd of December, which will be on Sky Pick, which was obviously what season 1 was on last year. It's amazing, this one, guys. Honestly, I cannot wait for everyone to see it. Myself and MJ headed off to Cornwall to investigate, and we've got Laurie and Hazel back in the chair, and we've got a brand new parapsychologist on board as well. So yeah, I really can't wait for everyone to see this, and looking forward to the 22nd. Yeah,
we know the parapsychologist, don't we, Jane?
We do. He was on our show a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, was he?
It's Cal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pleased about that. Now I've said it, we know him.
Yeah, no, he's a really, really nice guy. I've had a couple of chats with him, and you know, he really knows his stuff as well, which is fantastic for the show. Yeah,
I'll put some more comments up. Vaughn says, "Congratulations, Danny, on all your new ventures."
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you so much.
Roy says, "What is your most convincing evidence you've captured?"
Well, that has got to be the final episode of series 3, which, you know, released in October. I think most people have seen it now. It's obviously what we consider to be full-bodied apparition at Lower Wellhead Farm at Pendle. Just one of those mind-blowing captures that, in my opinion, just can't be debunked. I've had chats with so many different people in the paranormal about it. Some really skeptical people who can't really debunk it. I've spoken to believers who are just fascinated by it. It's, you know, I've watched the thing over 300 times now, and it gets me every time. It's one of those things that when I first realised that we caught something, because it's just under 42 minutes into a locked off camera footage, and it's what I like to call, on some of the CCTV and locked off cameras, we get this thing that I call ghosting, where the wires are loose and you get these shadows drifting across the screen. So at the first thought, I thought, oh my God, but that looks really like a bit different to what I've usually seen. But it's the bottom of the figure, shall I call it, that's really got me, because you can see footstep-like motion. And I was almost in tears when I figured out I caught that. I was screaming. I had my mum watch it, my dad, who's a massive skeptic, watch it, and he was baffled. It was what I'd like to call the Holy Grail, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's put more comments up. Liz says, really excited for season 4. It's going to be fascinating. Oh, Liz. Hi, Liz. Liz is a good friend of mine. She comes to some of my events with her daughters. They're lovely, lovely people. Series 4 we announced yesterday. It's been a long time coming. I think everybody's really excited to see that. It's a fascinating new journey based all around the psychology of hauntings, and does our fear provoke or invoke paranormal activity, if you like, any paranormal experiences, which, you know, I know some people are believers in that, so we really wanted to test it out. And or is it just our minds when we're in that fearful position? Is our minds playing tricks with us? So it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to it because I have no idea where we're going. So the the production are going to send us to the places the day of the investigation. No idea where we'll be going and what we'll be doing, but it's going to be crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Okay, there's a comment from Russ. Russ says, whilst in Chester, which building really got you excited? Which was you're most impressed with?
Hi, Ross. Thank you very much for your question. So for me, obviously going back to the old King's Head was a massive thing because we'd previously filmed there in 2017 for our Sky show that we got commissioned for called Search for the Truth. And we got some amazing footage there. So going back there was a massive opportunity for the team, and we caught some really, really substantial evidence. But for me, I think that, you know, the most exciting place that I went to was the Pied Bull. Now, there wasn't really huge amounts that happened in there in terms of paranormal activity, but it was right up my street because I'm a big sucker for sort of them 16th century locations that are old, you know, old beams, everything like that. So filming in there was fascinating. So yeah, that was one of my favorite episodes.
Okay, we've got loads of comments. I'll bring you in a minute, Jane.
Well, it's fine. I'm very interested just listening.
Lynn says, we cannot wait, Danny.
And Lynn, thank you.
And then Lynn says, oh my God, that was amazing. I think that was about the evidence at the farm.
Yeah.
Chris says, new viewer here and a big believer in the paranormal. Well, thanks for watching, Chris. We do these shows every Tuesday and we have another show on a Monday. They are changing slightly next year. Danny's already lined up as a guest for our new show, aren't you?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Next year.
Yeah.
Which we'll tell you all about another day. Sally says, can't wait to see the haunted house. Earphone on the ready.
Thanks, Sally.
Then Ross again says, with your experience, do you achieve better pictures with standard night vision cameras, or do the full spectrum really make a difference?
That's a really good question. Thanks, Ross. You know, our standard night vision cameras, we use the XA11s, Canon XA11s, which are, you know, they're fantastic for what they do. You know, you have two different colours night vision in that. You have your black and white and your green as well. We tend to go for the green. We think it looks a bit nicer. But yeah, in terms of capturing stuff in just standard infrared, we caught the apparition on that at Lower Wellhead Farm. Now, my theory on that, it actually appears as a white figure on camera. I actually have this belief that it could have been a coloured figure, but obviously when you see us on that black and white infrared, I could be wearing all black and I'll actually look white. So is it possible that apparition that we caught, the figure that we caught, was a dark mass? And that's my theory on things anyway. The full spectrum camera, we were really lucky in series 2 of the Haunted Hunts to capture what looked like a lady in Victorian mourning dress on Chester Rose. That was absolutely fascinating because we only captured that in full spectrum light. So it only appeared in full spectrum and not in infrared. So again, I think it's really, really beyond our understanding how these things can appear in the different sources of light. And I think as time goes on, as investigators, we will get more used to capturing things in the different styles of light and the different cameras, and then we can try and get some kind of pattern to it, hopefully.
Yeah. Let's bring Jane in. Jane, you got any questions for a question for Danny?
Well, I'm just finding it interesting what Danny was saying about using that, you know, the full spectrum camera and that with the shadows and things like that, because we caught, if you remember, I think it was the Victorian House or something in Leamington, Victoria House, something like that. And we were in that parlour room there, weren't we? And on the full spectrum camera, we seen this black ball of energy, and you couldn't see it with the naked eye or any other camera, but it caught it on the full spectrum camera.
Yeah, that's right.
And you know, we've come across quite a few of these solid black sort of masses, and they're cold when you put your hand in them. And I do think that the Spectrum camera is a good good piece of equipment to catch stuff that you just wouldn't normally see on anything else.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with you there, Jane. It's fascinating how just a change in lighting can capture stuff that you can't see on other cameras. You know, like you said, you weren't picking it up on any other camera. And, you know, that's the case with me on a number of occasions, both in events and filming. We've picked stuff up on full spectrum and not in infrared. So, again, it's just something we need to educate ourselves more on and figure out the pattern behind it. And hopefully in the years to come, as investigators, we can learn, and then we can hopefully capture more evidence.
Let's put Lynn.
It just makes you think, though, how much we do actually miss if we haven't got the right piece of equipment.
Yeah, 100% agree with you on that. You know, this will get us onto a conversation, won't it, about whether you should use equipment or not use equipment in investigations. And, you know, there's a lot of divide in the paranormal, I find, with people who don't like to use gizmos and gadgets, and then other people who do. And, you know, I appreciate back to basics, definitely. You know, I've done investigations in the past where I've gone back to basics and not used anything and just used my own senses. But I do find that having the use of some of the pieces of equipment, such as the full spectrum camera, thermal imaging camera, you know, digital voice recorder, stuff like that. And, you know, I've spoke to you guys before about how much of a believer in white noise I am. And I do find that I've had more evidence using those things than just using my own senses.
Okay, let's put Lynn's comment up. Lynn says, just to say, my daughter and I are coming to Hinckley in February for a spa weekend, and we hope we can visit the centre. I hope so as well, Lynn. But even if you're going to a spa, even if we're still on lockdown, just send me a message and I'll see what we can do.
Sneak you in.
Because I'm
in as well.
People who know me know that I'm a bit of a rebel, but just message me, Lynn, a bit nearer the time. Okay, Chris says, guys, who's clairaudient or clairsentient here? Jane is a medium.
Oh, that way.
It's very confusing. I've been doing this for years now. I still get it wrong. Jane is the medium of the centre. So you do everything, don't you, Jane?
Yeah.
All the research.
Try to. Yeah. All the travelling.
Jane, do you see or do you just hear, or both?
No, I can hear spirits, see them, feel them, smell them, anything that, I've pretty much got access to all the clairs. So, you know, clairsentient, clairvoyant. I do all of those. And it's been pretty much there since I was a child.
Really?
Sorry?
I said I find it fascinating because, you know, I'm not sensitive in the slightest, but I really enjoy hearing about, you know, what people like yourself can pick up on. I find it fascinating.
Yeah. Well, when you come up to the centre, I'll show you my little book, because you'll like my little book of the centre. Brilliant!
Can't wait.
Yeah. A load more comments. We've got to go through some. Sally says, I grew up with the paranormal experience, and then I've also had personal experiences with it too. John says, sounds very interesting. I can't wait for it. Like a blind dates with ghosts.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Lynn says, looking forward to season 4. Might end up north.
Oh, hi, Lynn. Lynn's a good friend of mine from the northeast, who's been coming on my events for many years now. Really, really lovely lady, and her husband Bob as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Lynn.
John says, can't wait for season 4. The idea is very intriguing. It's going to be like I've just had that one. I do apologise.
You're going
Trouble is,
backwards. Go forwards.
when you have got so many comments, you know, if you scroll down, you miss half, so you have to go back again. Tasha says, I can't wait to see where you're going in season 4 and which equipment you're going to be using.
Thank you, Tasha. Yeah, Tasha's big supporter of the Haunted Hunts. Lovely girl. Thank you so much. Yeah, you know what? I can't wait either, because I have literally no idea where we are going to be sent to, and that is the perfect way to sort of throw us in at the deep end and do what we want to do in this series, which is test our bravery, test and see if our fear can sort of trigger anything off. So, you know, I have a feeling, you know, with the places they've sent us already and the surprises that they throw us at us here, they're going to send us to some absolutely bizarre locations.
Yeah. Something I do like about you and your series, Danny, is you really get into it and you show your emotions. And I like that.
Yeah. One of my all-time favourites is, I think it was in the old mill when you're up in the top floor on your own and you heard that noise and you went running down the stairs. You looked absolutely dreadful.
Do you know
I
what?
love it. You just can't make that up.
I know. There's I'll give you a little sneak preview now. There's a moment which I'm hoping they show in Paranormal Captured at the Jamaica Inn that is like one of those moments. It's just like, I cannot believe that happened. And can I also say what a big pleasure it was working with Karen and Colin as well at the Jamaica Inn. Mm-hmm. Lovely couple of people. And, you know, they were really welcoming to me when I came there. It was a long drive for me. I was absolutely shattered when I got there. But it was lovely working with those two. But yeah, I think, you know what, Neil, I do think a lot of people enjoy that aspect of the show. And it's not just me, it's the other guys as well in the team. We're not afraid to just show our emotions. And, you know, I've had a bit of backlash from it over the last year. You know, you know, why do you call out for something and then scream? Well, it's a natural human emotion, isn't it? And if a mind-blowing thing happens that you know is real at the time, then you're going to show some kind of emotion, aren't you? And, you know, I'm glad that people like yourself enjoy that aspect of it.
Well, people get used to people who follow us, who follow our live feeds, get used to me because I'm the biggest chicken in the world. And Jane, you can tell by Jane's reaction, she knows it. And quite a while ago, before the lockdown, we said I was going to do a 12-hour lockdown on at the centre on my own. Don't know why I agreed to it, because I know from the second I'm in there, the only one in the building, I will be pooing myself the whole night.
When are you doing it?
I'm putting it off as long as I can.
But it is true, though, because if you experience something in there, then you know it's real and it's happening. So why would you sit there? You know, if something moves in the corner or you hear a disembodied voice that you perceive to be paranormal, you're not going to sit there dead calm and go, "Oh, right, that's cool, isn't it?" You're gonna show emotion.
Yeah, I think that's why people want to see me on my own.
I do as well.
We've seen many a grown man. Return, you know, reduced to a blubbering wreck in the centre. But it's even better when they're screaming and crying.
Yeah. Okay, a few more comments. Lynn says, "Wow, really amazing for you all to get together. Can't wait." Chris says, "Thanks for the welcome, guys. My wife passed away on the 2nd of last month at the family home and had some very strange has happened since then." So we'll put that one over to Jane, shall we, Danny?
Yeah, I'm very sorry to hear that, Chris. I'm really sorry for your loss. But yeah, I think probably Jane's more suited to that kind of subject.
Yeah, well, you will know and sense what's going on in your own home, and you will actually feel the energy. If you feel that energy is your wife, just call out, just talk to her, just acknowledge that she's there, because that's probably all she's trying to do, to just let you know that she's okay and that she's still there with you. So just acknowledge her if you feel that's her.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Andrew says, tell us about the new spirit box you just got, Danny. What's different about it?
This one. This is
cool.
the SC6. You know, I'm on the fence with spirit boxes, some of them, you know, because the SB7, SB11, even the SC6, that, you know, they leak radio, and the skeptics will always say what you're doing is picking up on radio and trying to link that to the situation. And I would agree with that to some extent. You know, there are many, many people out there, myself included. I don't know about you guys, but there are things that have come through, things like the SB7 before, where it's just impossible to really put that down to radio, because you're getting the same voice coming over multiple sweeps, stringing a sentence together and answering you directly. Now, if that is radio, then either that's an absolute sheer coincidence that it can answer your questions on demand multiple times. But I don't know of any radio signals that can come over multiple sweeps in the same voice and string a sentence together. So, you know, I do like spirit boxes. My own designs don't leak any radio, so it's just the white noise, and I've had some incredible stuff come through them. So I do much prefer working with them. But the difference with the SE6 is the sweep rates that you can get on it. You can get really, really rapid sweep rates. And, you know, like I said to you guys, I'm a huge believer in white noise and the white noise that can emit from spirit boxes. And if you can give different levels of white noise and different rates of white noise, then, you know, you're approaching the investigation at all angles then. So the SE6, brilliant. Some Simon Cox, really do like it, and I can't wait to test it out. Yeah, we're really getting into the Estes method. Yeah, brilliant. We're going to do a live feed from the centre Saturday night. In the war room, we've got an Anderson shelter. So we've used the Estes method in there before with fantastic responses. I did the Estes method last Saturday, didn't I, Jane? In the sounds room, and the responses were quite amazing. You know, I could not hear what Amy was saying, couldn't see anything. The responses were amazing. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the SS method, like you, Neil. You know, taking away that sort of ability to see and hear what the other person's calling out, and you just relaying what you're hearing coming through the white noise and the SB7, if that's the device you're using with it. I'm a massive fan. And, you know, we've had a lot of requests at the minute after season 3, because we used the SS method and had some huge hits in season 3 at Pendle. And we've had a lot of requests saying, is there any way we can link up some kind of recording device so that the audience can actually hear what the vessel is hearing at the time? And it's something I really want to explore. Yes, you can. We have done that in the past. What do you use? You just need a splitter. Okay. I'll send you a picture later, Danny. It's just a splitter. So the sound goes to the headphones. Then the sound also goes to a speaker. Fantastic. So I think that for the viewers would be fantastic, because then they can sort of experience what the vessel is hearing at the same time. That's James dog trying to steal the show there. Okay then. Comment from Liv. Will you get an opportunity to use the equipment on season 4? Yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm definitely sure of it. There'll be all the equipment that the viewers and the fans have loved over the last 3 seasons, and the Codnor Farmhouse special, the Intravox, you know, thermal images, everything, including hopefully the SE6 as well, and maybe some more surprises. We've got a fantastic electrical engineer on board with us now as part of our crew. His name's Nick. and some of the things that he can design are absolutely incredible. He's already done a continuity machine for us, which you may have seen in your farmhouse. There's also a pressure mat as well. It's fantastic.
Cool. Okay, a few more comments. Roy says, what are your views on where investigations will take us in the future in regards to submitting evidence for scientific exploration?
Well, I think that the paranormal and science go hand in hand, don't they? We will always, as investigators, present the evidence, and then the scientific minds amongst us will either try to debunk it or say, wow, that's fascinating. And I think, as time goes on, our methods will improve. We'll be able to get our hands on new pieces of equipment which will help validate things further. Like I was saying to you before, Jane, about full spectrum. There will be some devices, I'm quite sure of it, that will come out in the next 10, 20 years that will help validate things even further. And I'm on the fence really when it comes to science. Obviously I believe in science massively, because you can't not. But there are some scientists that choose to completely close their minds on things. Now, these scientists, however long ago it was, not that long ago when you think about it, that still believed the earth was flat. And science constantly, in my opinion, contradicts itself, because scientists 100 years ago believed in certain things that are now considered to be absolutely barbaric. So in 100 years time from now, will we be able to prove the existence of ghosts? And science will open their hands up and say, yeah, they exist. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay then. Mickey says, season 4 sounds really special. Danny, how are you apprehensive considering you are going into locations that you haven't researched?
Hi, thank you so much for your comment. Yeah. Yeah, to be completely honest, because it's a big part of what we do at the Haunted Hunts. If you've watched season 3 at Pendle Hill, you will see how much research went into that and how much time prepping for those investigations and that week. It's something that we consider to be our strength, is the time and effort planning the tactical approach to each individual investigation, and doing our research so extensively that we go in there with the best possible chance of witnessing something. With series 4 happening now, we have absolutely no idea what we're going into, what methods will work. So in my honest opinion, I don't think you will probably see the evidence that you have seen in previous seasons, just because I don't think we'll have that ability to trigger it. But saying that, will the sort of on-the-spot moment just work out for the best? We had it with Codnor Farmhouse. We went in pretty blind to that situation. We got the call out. We went out there, we investigated it, turned it into a 2-hour special, and the evidence was absolutely phenomenal. So we might get lucky, but in my honest opinion right now, I don't believe we will get evidence in all of the locations.
Okay, I think this is another one for you, Jane. Chris says, could anyone tell me, is life after death normal, or is it just proof your loved ones are watching over you?
Life after death is, in my view, perfectly normal. We're all, as a spirit being, we are born into these physical bodies, and when our time is up, when these physical bodies or these vessels, they can't carry on anymore, that's when they when they come to an end. But the human soul, the spirit, does carry on, and that's the part that is the life after death. All we're doing is just losing this sort of meat suit and just carrying on. And it's that spirit, that energy that goes on, and that's what we're sort of trying to find the evidence for when we're doing the investigations, when we're doing the ghost hunts and everything else. We're trying to connect with that energy, that spirit, that soul for them to tell us about their story, or for them to just show us that they're still around.
Okay, thank you. Okay, another one from Ross. Ross says, I think having some equipment is to be able to prove to other people that you can't feel what you are feeling. EVP and pictures back up what you have seen.
Yeah, I totally agree with Ross on that one. You know, I appreciate, you know, and I've seen it on many investigations that people have personal experiences. I've had personal experiences that seem very, very real to me at the time, but I wouldn't expect anybody watching me have a personal experience to fully believe it, because they're not experiencing it themselves. So, you know, I do always feel that you have to have some kind of skepticism about you when you're watching someone have a personal experience, because you can't validate that. So having the use of equipment that possibly can validate it is absolutely fascinating. You know, if somebody says, I got it with Charlie in series 1 of the Haunted Hunts, he was feeling this ridiculous pain in his stomach at Poole Park Asylum. And to this day, it's one of the most fascinating EVPs and terrifying EVPs I've ever captured. But he then starts getting really angry because he feels this pain in his stomach, and he turns around and he shouts out, "You can't hurt me. I'm not afraid of you." And I hear a very, very faint whisper next to me. And on our digital voice recorder, we capture Class A EVP that says, "I just have done." So that validates his experience.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one for you, Jane, I think from Chris. Could you possibly pick up on my recently passed over wife, please?
I can't at the moment, and ideally I need to sort of be in the space really, because how I work is I connect my energy with that spirit of the person who's passed in order to communicate. So as we are at the minute, I wouldn't be able to do that, but you know, there may be some opportunity in the future for us to do that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mark says, have so many paranormal experiences, but nobody's interested. What would you say to that, Danny?
It's a difficult one, isn't it, really? Because, you know, what I do see a lot of at the moment is that people post their experiences onto paranormal pages and groups, and they often get slammed for it. Which is a real shame. Honestly, it is a real shame. And some of them I see, and I have to admit, I think, oh, Jesus Christ. And that's, you know, it's not me being disrespectful in any way, but some of them I look at and think, well, there's an obvious explanation for that. But to that person posting it, they might not understand the obvious explanation because they don't have the experience that other people may have. So for people to jump on and, you know, slate them for it, it is very disheartening to see, in my opinion. But, you know, it's about trying to, I would say, can you give me some real hardcore evidence? You know, I get a lot of messages coming through and emails saying, will you have a look at this for me? Will you have a look at that for me? Oh, I'm having a feeling in my house. And I would say, well, can you try and document it for me? Then send it over and I can have a proper look at it. But yeah, I do understand where he's coming from, because, you know, you're getting a lot of that on paranormal groups at the minute, and people need to just be a little bit kinder with the responses.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I'd also say on the back of that as well, Mark, if you're having all these paranormal experiences, document them, write them down in a diary, because, and also if you turn it around that it's your personal experience, it's your journey, then, you know, you can share that journey with other people. I mean, Neil, you've been asking for some stories, haven't you, for the new podcast and stuff? You know, you can send your stories on to people where you know, where they can be shared, but also, you know, treat it as your own personal journey. And if you know, they're your experiences, and just document them and put them in a diary, and you can always look back on those, and you can actually get a really good, you know, document your personal paranormal experiences. It's your personal journey.
Yeah. Okay. Is Lynn says, so Danny, when you were at Hinckley, February ? I think Lynn's on about coming to Hinckley in February.
I will try my best, but I have a very, very busy start to 2021, which I will reveal all to you in good time when I'm allowed to. But yeah, if I'm not busy with this other project, then yes, I absolutely love to join Jane and Neil at the centre. It's somewhere I've always wanted to go. I've told you, Neil, in the past.
Yeah.
Somewhere I really want to try out and possibly film there as well. So hopefully it can happen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, here's one to take and plug. Stefan says, where can I see seasons 1, 2, and 3, please?
Okay, so we are an Amazon Prime show. So the show is exclusive to Amazon Prime, but we've just been allowed to release series 1 and series 2 onto YouTube. So you can type in The Haunted Hunts on YouTube. They're there in seasons for you, but season 3 is only on Amazon Prime at the moment.
Okay. Tasha, this is sort of reply to the earlier comment. Tasha says, it's the reactions you throw out at something you capture.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I don't know. It's, like I said earlier, it's when you know something is happening and it's very real at the time. I do. I'm very much like you, Neil. I'm jumpy. I'm on edge. But I go into an investigation and I am hyped up from the first second. So, I'm on edge at all times, and every little thing that happens, I've got to react to. Not everyone enjoys seeing that kind of thing, and I fully appreciate that. But I can't change that.
Yeah, it's a well-known fact that I won't go up to the top floor at my centre on my own. So this is why it's going to be worth a lot of money for me to spend 12 hours on my own.
I can't wait.
Thanks, mate. Right, okay then. Lindsay says, "Hi Danny, where would you most like to investigate, and see you soon?"
Oh, Lindsay, yeah, another lovely lady. Been on our events. Really interesting. Her sister was actually very skeptical until experienced something at one of our locations, Pennyland Hall. So it was great to see a skeptical person actually have a change of mind after an experience. In terms of where would I really want to go, I'm absolutely dying at the moment to go to America. More than ever at the moment, and I know obviously it's not going to be a possibility anytime soon with the current COVID situation, but it's just one of those places I need to go.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's after the centre.
Of course,
Mr. Moss. That's okay then. Von said it's good to keep it real. Definitely.
No other way.
Okay then. Well, sorry, Danny, we've lost you here. Ross says, after watching all the Haunted Hunts, no other show compares. Seems so genuine, and you all get into it. You can usually see where all the members are too, which is essential for debunking noises and shadows. A big well done on the best paranormal show. You knocked the others out of the water.
Oh wow, that's an absolutely lovely comment. I never ever consider us to be the best show out there at all. In my opinion, there are better shows. Some of the American shows that are out there at the moment, I know a lot of people find them very overly dramatic, but they have huge budgets and they know exactly what they're doing. What I think the Haunted Hunts is about is just our way of doing it. And I would honestly say to everybody out there, just stick to your way of doing things. If you enjoy it and you want to do it that way, don't let anybody tell you any different. It's always great to try new things. Of course it is. But, we believe in this certain way we work and we stick with it, and other people seem to enjoy it. So thank you so much. And what I will say about the Haunted Hunts is that we will never, ever change the way we go about things, because, a lot of shows are afraid to put out debunk episodes where they don't capture anything, whether that's big productions saying that they have to have some results or what. The Haunted Hunts will never, ever do that. And that is the beauty of having our own production and being able to get it out on Amazon Prime, because we're not under pressure to do anything. And if that was the case, I would simply terminate the contract.
Yeah, that's that. I think you hit the nail on the head there, Danny. The main thing is to do it your way.
Yeah,
and that's how Jane and I work, and it's been working for us. Some people probably wouldn't like how we work, but to me, this is the center. Haunted Antiques is our journey.
Yeah.
So why should we do something just to conform to that's the way it's done?
Exactly. You know, you guys have put so much effort into that location. You've done incredible things with it. It's so popular. It's so well known now in the UK. Then why would you go in there and not investigate in the way you want to investigate? It would make no sense. And there will, you know, there's a huge divide in the paranormal at the minute, and you will both agree with me on this, is that everybody thinks that their way of doing things is right. You know, and there's opinions getting thrown around. Listen, just do you. Do what you want to do. And you know, don't be afraid of change. Of course not. You know, but I can sit here now and say, I don't really approve of doing table tipping and mirror scrying and stuff like that. But am I going to slate somebody who does do that? No. I like using spirit boxes and capturing EVPs and stuff on camera. Some people won't like my way of doing things. There's no right or wrong. There's your way.
That's right. Okay.
I think you've just got to stay genuine, haven't you? Stay on your path. You know, you've got to stay genuine. You've got to work in the way that you want to work, and just stay on your own path, and it'll work.
Definitely.
Okay. Is Chris? Sorry, guys. I'm just very curious if there's a message from my wife. She passed November the 2nd. If Chris, if you're anywhere near Hinckley, and next year when we're back into normality and you want to come and have a word with Jane, feel free. Or if you're too far from Hinckley, find a good medium. There's a lot of good mediums out there. I would go find one on recommendation though, because there's a lot of good
also
ones.
November.
There's a lot of bad ones.
I'm just going to say November 2nd might be a little too soon. You know, she will still be sort of coming to terms with what's happened in the spirit world, and it may just be too soon. Yeah, if you get an activity in your house, then just do what I said before. Just call out and just acknowledge her. And if it's her, then, you know, just take that as that she's sending you a sign already.
Yeah. Okay. Lynn says, you are so normal with your reactions. It's the normal thing we would all do.
I'm glad you called it normal.
Tasha says, Dan's not shy with his emotions and reactions. He literally makes me cry and laugh.
I'd agree with that.
Here's Gary. Gary's one of our regulars. Gary says, can't wait to see you do that, Neil.
Definitely.
Okay, then. Gemma says, aside from Grace the doll, which item in Tatton do you feel has the worst attachment?
It's really, really difficult. I know, obviously, I know a lot of you guys who follow us know exactly what's been going on at Tatton recently. It really disturbing. Almost had to shut down the location. Guests were really having bad effects happen. I had a couple of people faint on me. It's a really difficult one to answer, because I just feel that the items have created such a hive of activity inside Tatton Old Hall that there are a number of what I would deem to be trickster spirits, trickster entities messing around in there at the moment, and it's very hard to follow what's going on without being able to actually get solid answers. And obviously I can't do that at the moment because I can't get back there till early next year. But certainly the Grace doll will always fascinate me. It's what I call my paranormal miracle. Never experienced anything like it in my life. But what I thought was attached to it I now don't believe is attached to it. You know, getting multiple voices coming from it, multiple things happening around it. Tatton is just an absolute hive at the moment.
Good. Stefan says, what am I looking for, Lynn? What's the series called? What's your series called, Danny?
The Haunted Hunts. And that's with a H, not C.
I've skipped through so many comments. Does me head in sometimes. Right. This is from John. Hey, Danny, if you do, you'll have to do a comparison with the American's famous witch hunt in Salem.
Oh, my God. I would absolutely love to go to Salem, especially at Halloween as well. What a place. I don't think... Is there any better place on the planet than Salem at Halloween, you guys? Jeez.
Be a bit special, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Liv says, we love the way you do it.
Wow, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hannah's one of our regulars. Hannah says, big up Haunted Antiques.
I agree.
Oh, bless her.
Tasha says, never change the way you investigate. What you do works well.
Thank you, Tasha. Yeah, again, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Not everyone will agree with it, and other people will agree with it. It just works for us, and we enjoy doing it. And you know, I'm a bit of a tech geek. I like using tech. I like gizmos and gadgets. I always have done since I was a kid. So
yeah,
you know, for me, getting a new piece of paranormal equipment is like Christmas morning. I really enjoy it.
A new toy.
Yeah, I get it, and I think, wow, what can I do with it, and what kind of situation could I put it in, and you know, is this just and then the novelty wears off then after about 6 months, and I need a new one.
Okay, I've got a question for you, Danny. What are your thoughts on Ouija boards?
I've only ever seen one convincing Ouija board session, to be honest with you. So, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm a huge believer in them, because I find that anything that is easily, you know, anything that can be manipulated by the human touch can easily be debunked. So, you know, I've seen people push glasses. I've seen things happen. But I will also admit that I've seen one really, really convincing session where two separate boards with complete strangers around both boards, the glass was moving to the same letter at the same time in the exact same motion. So it was actually like watching them in unison, and the glass on the left-hand side board actually levitated up for a split second like that. And I was watching everybody really, really closely, because I was such a big skeptic when I first started out. But this still baffles me to this day. I have no idea. That was at Pennyland Hall in North Wales.
Yeah. So what do you feel like doing to the people who are obviously pushing it? Do you just feel like going slapping around the ear roll? I do.
I just say, yeah, you know what? I don't get involved in them on my events, to be honest with you. And I've seen people on other events do it, and I just switch off from it, really, because I think you're wasting your own time. Yeah,
you just I know I just give up. That if I see someone pushing the glass on a Ouija board, I'll just give up on the whole night. Then I'll just go and wander about myself.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I like to investigate with like-minded people and people who want to experience real, genuine activity. And I will suss that person out in the room immediately and latch onto them and just go, right, you're my type of person. I'll investigate with you tonight.
Yeah. Here's one from our Bloss. Bloss says, everyone to their own. Yeah. Von says to Chris, go to your local spiritualist church. Jockey says, yeah, I agree 100%. Too many people say you can't prove anything doing it that way. Though my response is prove I can't.
Yeah, it's. I had a big argument with a quite well known scientist years and years ago, and he said, "You can't prove the existence of ghosts. You can't prove to me right now that spirits and ghosts are real." I said, "Yeah, but on the other hand, you can't prove they're not." So it's
Yeah. Here's one from Dave. Dave's another regular ours. He's a member. I'm convinced on Ouija boards went on one with Neil, and the spirit says don't sell the £55 watch, which was part of Sim's antiques in the cabinets. And Neil kept the watch at the centre. He's too tight to make that up. Yeah, we had a spirit. We had a gentleman come through the Ouija board, and he says he was connected to this watch in the cabinet, okay. And he says he didn't want me to sell it, so I bought it. And Dave says I'm too tight to make that up, so that cost me 55 quid.
Love it.
You can just see the love for me, can't you, Danny?
I know. You're very blessed.
And they're my friends. John says, how long does it normally take to work out a piece of equipment and how to use it effectively?
Wow. It depends. It really depends what it is. Some stuff's really quite self-explanatory, isn't it? Full spectrum cameras just snap away, stuff like that. It took me quite a while to figure out our Intravox device, but that's because it's a custom design. I had to do a lot of around with that, and I really, really enjoy testing stuff in my own house because my house isn't haunted at all. Never has been, never will be. And if I'm working on a piece of equipment and testing it out in here and I'm not getting any responses, then it's working exactly how it should be working. So yeah, I mean, the Intravox, that took a long time to figure out, but the minute I got that first hit through it, I thought, wow, this is amazing, because I wasn't fully convinced that we would get hits through it.
Yeah. Okay, then. Here's a good question. Roy says, where do you see yourself in the paranormal field in the next 20 years, Dan?
Wow, that is a good question. I have absolutely no idea, to be honest with you. My journey is step by step. I'm very, very lucky and very blessed to do the work that I do and get the opportunities that I get. And not for 1 second do I ever take it for granted. I've worked in television a very, very long time because I used to be in the acting industry as well and the presenting industry. So it was always a dream of mine to bring my background in television into the paranormal. And some people don't like me for that, and that's absolutely fine. But I absolutely love doing my job, and I love the opportunities I get. I get a lot of stick for what I do, and I've been trolled to the absolute maximum over the last year by people, just simply because they're jealous that I get the opportunities that I get. That's all I can put it down to. So in the next 20 years, if I am still doing this, or I have another show that I'm blessed to work on, then fantastic. If not, then that's not the way it's meant to be. But I absolutely love doing it, and I don't for 1 second ever think that I deserve to be doing it. I make my own luck, I make my own way in life.
Yeah, good. There's lots of people agreeing with Dave now about me being tight. I don't understand why. Lynn says, "Oh my God, cannot wait to meet you, Neil." Thank you, Lynn.
Tight Neil.
You sound such a nice lady. Okay then. Lynn says, "I can't wait for things to get back to normal. Normally things happen where I work, but it's even quiet."
Interesting. I think there was a big debate going around, wasn't it, about how lockdown affected locations, whether it affected the hauntings going on there. I know that when we started our events back after the first lockdown, the activity was really, really quiet. It was really subdued and quiet. And then obviously it started to pick up again, and then we went into the tier system.
The dreaded tier system. Well, the centre was opposite to that. When we went back after 5 months, 6 months, whatever it was phenomenal. It was really off the scale. So I'm looking forward to. We're doing a live feed Saturday, so I'm looking forward to that.
Hopefully,
unfortunately, Jane won't be there. She'll be in the studio giving her expert opinions. Okay.
Expert.
Are you okay to carry on? Because we've got a few more comments. I know we've gone past 9, but
yeah, I'm good.
Liz says, "What do you all think about past lives and reincarnation?" We'll start with you, Danny.
Wow, yeah, it's a really interesting theory, and my cousin's little boy, they live in New Zealand, and he says things and comes out with things that are just absolutely bizarre about certain things that have happened that have never really happened, and the whole family are convinced that he had a past life. So yeah, I don't know whether I'm a believer in it really, but it's a really fascinating theory, isn't it?
Yeah. What's your? I know your thoughts, Jane. What's your thoughts? Tell everybody else what's your thoughts.
Well, I definitely believe in past lives. I've done some past life regression, and I was really quite amazed at what happened in my sort of first life, and it's one of those things that when you actually sort of understand how the spirit world works, it's easy to see how it all works. When there's with the fetus, when it's sort of growing at 5 to 6 weeks, when the heart starts beating, that is when the soul goes into the body, and that soul will stay there until it leaves that body, and then it will go on to the next one. It comes back and it keeps learning lessons, and it keeps learning lots of different things in order to sort of progress on to its next stage. So that I definitely believe in past lives and reincarnation.
Yeah, I used to be dubious about past lives until Jane and I did a members live feed at a cemetery in the village where I was born, and we actually spoke to the lady who committed suicide at the altar.
Wow.
But the man who jilted her was me in a past life.
Jeez.
So that was fascinating, wasn't it?
Yeah, we went back, didn't we, to find the spirit that you'd seen when you were a 15-year-old boy, because she showed herself to you at that time, didn't she? And you went back to try and find her. And yeah, it was a fascinating evening.
That's crazy.
So, it was, and she still comes to see me now.
Amazing.
A few more comments. Well, I think we'll be here all night. Lynn says, "No way, Danny, that's awful. That's about you being trolled."
Happens to the best of us, don't worry.
we had it a bit ago, but it's all gone now.
Yeah, I even had somebody threatening me to come, somebody were going to come in and do me harm. They were going to act as a person coming in for a card reading, and they were going to do me harm and all sorts. So, it just goes with the territory, I think.
I think there's a lot of strange people in the paranormal who have serious issues. That's my opinion on it. That's the people who I've been trolled by. I look at their lives and I just think, my God, I'm glad I'm not you.
Yeah. Last few comments, because we really have got to put an end to this. Ross says, "If we hear any squeaks during our next visit to the centre, we know it's not paranormal. It's Neil's wallet." You see what I have to put it with, Danny?
Love it.
And these are friends. That's what worries me. Liz says, "I had past life regression and I've actually managed to collaborate it." That's
Wow.
Yeah,
brilliant.
that's good.
Liz, I'll speak to you about that next time I see you, definitely.
Okay. Okay, this is an interesting one considering who's on the show. Do you believe a haunting can be attached to an object?
Well, I do now, yeah.
Yeah, I think we all believe that, because that's what me and Jane work with, and Danny's got his own haunted objects as well. So no doubt whatsoever that spirits can attach themselves to objects.
Yeah, I'm with you, Neil. Not a believer in it at all. If you'd have asked me 3 years ago, but now absolutely fully convinced. Yeah.
Yeah. Lynn says, don't want this chat to end.
Oh,
Stefan says, nor me. Ross says, it's a shame the paranormal field is very cutthroat. Some teams work alongside others. Others try and cause harm. But it is the
Yeah.
minority. It is the minority that are not very nice. The vast majority are fantastic people.
100%
Yeah,
agree
now.
with you on that. Yeah, there's some absolutely wonderful people in this industry. Paul Stevenson, the guys from Haunted Magazine, Steve Higgins, Hazel Ford from Haunted Happenings. I've worked with some absolutely amazing people. Laurie, Hazel, MJ from Paranormal Captured. I've had the best time with those three women. They're absolutely crazy ladies. And of course, you too as well. This is the second time I've been on your show, and I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. Because, it's people just share their experiences, and that's what the paranormal should be about.
Yeah.
yeah.
Danny is coming back on our new Haunted Connection show. It's going to be slightly different. But we're not going to say too much. I don't know about you, Danny, but as soon as we say something that we're doing, all of a sudden, lots of other people are doing it. And they say, oh, we've had this great idea. So I have got a bit of a big,
keep your cards close to your chest.
I do have a bit of a big mouth, and I do like tell people what we're doing. So we're keeping it quiet at the minute. So Danny is coming back onto it with us next year. I can't remember when.
January, I think it was.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not too far away, is it?
No.
So join us again then, and we'll have another chat. Okay, final comment from Roy. Views on ethics in the paranormal.
Wow.
Where'd you start?
Well, yeah, where do you start? I think there's that many, isn't there? But Dr. Kieran O'Keefe summed it up perfectly, didn't he, in his article in Haunted Magazine, about investigating people's houses and filming it and saying there's, demons there and stuff like that. That's risky. It is very risky. And, I know that we filmed Sadler's Farm for Pendle Hill and Lower Welsh Farm, which are both privately owned houses, but the owners actually asked us to go and film there and give them answers as to what's there, because they were experiencing stuff. But we didn't come out of there saying, well, it's haunted by a demonic manifestation. We gave them an honest answer about what we found, and they were really thankful about it. So thank God.
Yeah. If you're a team or medium's got a lot of big responsibility as well. Me and Jane talked along about this. If you go into people's homes, you got to be careful about what you say. We've had a lady come to the centre quite distraught, saying a medium had been into her house and he'd done a reading for a family member. And as he was leaving, he says, "You've got an attachment, but I can't sort it out now. I've got to go." And you think, as soon as people do watch the American shows, there's a lot of demons about, isn't there?
Yeah.
So as soon as someone says you've got an attachment, you think, oh God, I'm going to get possessed. And she was quite worried, weren't she, Jane?
Yeah, she was.
So
It's a big no from me. That
definitely not.
you know, that must seriously affect their mental health. Seriously affect it.
So you just got to be so careful. But anyway, it's 9:10. We do have to go. Thanks for all your comments. Sorry I didn't get through them all, but like we said, Danny's coming back on soon, so we might make it a longer show next time.
Yeah.
That's okay with Danny. I know you're
Fine
busy.
with me.
Yeah, I know you're a busy man. I think it's January, but we'll see. So thanks for all the comments. Thanks for watching, and thanks, Danny, for being our guest again.
Oh,
Yeah, it's been great to have you on, Danny. It's lovely to have a good catch up.
Yeah, always a pleasure speaking to you two. So I'm looking forward to the new show. So good luck with it.
Thank you. So we're going to say goodnight. See you all again soon.
Yes, bye everyone. Stay
See you guys.
safe. Bye for now.